Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Jacoby. On behalf of Heel and Spiel J&J, welcome to another pay-per-view review with yours truly, James Jacoby. And today we are reviewing Impact Wrestling's Emergence 2022. And you can watch more Impact Wrestling's pay-per-views on Impact Insiders on YouTube, or as I have it, Impact Plus, the application, for only $9.99 per month. But with that being said, let's get on with our pay-per-view. Jack Evans, who used to work at AEW with H2O, which with Angelico and Jack Evans. Now Jack Evans released AEW wrestler, now having a big match against Speedball Mike Bailey. And I gotta say, that's how you start a pay-per-view, putting your X Division Championship on the line. And Impact's great, showing great wrestling, and then starting off with the X Division title. That's one great start right there. And from the get-go, technical wrestling, high-flying wrestling, strong style wrestling, that's all I want to see. And that's great storytelling. And ever since Slammiversary, Speedball Mike Bailey is showing us why he deserves and why he's our X Division World Champion. So that was my pick, Speedball Mike Bailey. And again, Jack Evans showed us why. He's the top class great wrestler as well. So Jack Evans, much respect to you, but you came up a little short. But Speedball Mike Bailey won it and became and retained the X Division champion. Scale 1 through 5. That's how you start a pay-per-view right there. The classic barn burner match right there. So scale 1 through 5, I give it a 5 on that one. The next match was supposed to be, and I was shocked by this when I saw this. It was supposed to be Steve Macklin versus Sammy Callahan, and it was kind of weird and after a while I understood what happened next. So it was supposed to be that match, but as soon after Macklin made his entrance and Callahan was making his entrance, he's walking down the aisle, and I don't know, they started having a brawl before the match starts, and it continued on to like the whole time slot they got, and they completely fought in the crowd. And I hear Tom Hannafan and Matthew Rey Horus said, you know what? Apparently they're not going to stop fighting. They're going to break it up. They're going to fight in the crowd. So we're supposed to have our next scheduled tag team match. So that was kind of a weird situation, but it carried on and it made sense towards the later on in the pay-per-view night. So we'll come back to that match. So our next match is Chris Sabin and Kushida versus Violent by Design, Eric Young, Joe Doring, and Cody Deaner. Joe Doring was not wrestling, but he was managing them at their sides. Eric Young and Cody Deaner. And this match, wow, I'm glad the Forbidden Door is open again, because Kushida out of New Japan Pro Wrestling released WWE NXT wrestler, wrestling and being himself again. And not being under the WWE corporate umbrella and shackled to being like what they want to be. He's being who he wants to be, and that's what Impact said. Kushida, I want you to be the Kushida time splitter of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and be yourself that brought you to the dance in the first place. And that's what he did in Impact's Emergence with Chris Sabin. They put on one hell of a classic, clinic in this tag team match. But scale 1 through 5, I give it a 4.5. The only knock I have on this match is just that Kushida and Chris Sabin were my picks, but they lost. But Violent by Design, I was surprised because Eric Young is 40-something. He still moved like he's 20 years old again, or 19 or 18, whatever. And he still looked like a young man in that match. Just sensational. So wow, good job, VBD, Violent by Design, and you're so close, Kushida and Chris Sabin. So 4.5 out of that tag team match. Our next match is this is my second favorite match of the card, besides Mike Bailey and Jack Evans. This one was my second favorite match, and that would be the AAA attraction. Again, the Forbidden Door open again. Bandito versus Rey Horus. And my gosh, they put on a great lucha clinic in there. I saw great lucha action from start to finish. Just sensational wrestling. If you have time, just watch the match. If you have Impact Plus or Impact Insiders and just want to watch great lucha libre at its finest, that's what I saw in this AAA attraction. Bandito, Rey Horus, completely putting their heart and souls and their creative minds in this match. Bandito was the winner, and while Rey Horus gave his best too, but Bandito became the victor, giving his all and giving a lot more than what Rey Horus did. Rey Horus, much love and respect, man. But maybe next time you get the win. But Bandito became the winner in this match. So on a scale 1 through 5, a solid 5, because that was great lucha libre. Our next match is going to be it was the 5 vs 5, anything goes. Honor No More, Eddie Edwards, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Vincent Marseille, PCO versus Bullet Club, Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows, Chris Bay, Hikuleo, and Ace Austin. I tell you one thing, oh my gosh, this match was crazy. This match was awesome, and Impact has a history of doing hardcore matches. Look at the Monster Balls match. Look at the Monsters, like I said, Monsters Balls match. Look at the Clockwork Orange match. Look at the Full Metal Mayhem matches. Impact Wrestling history, and also, you know, they added some matches with collaboration of other promotions, and that's just freaking awesome. And wow, that match was just great. And honestly, I this hardcore faction versus faction tag team match was just, it was everywhere, from the crowd to the ring to the backstage. So many people played a lot of parts in here. I tell you one thing, it was just a fun hardcore match that I got myself invested in, and I just said, well, twists and turns of wow reactions. I'm like, holy crap! You know, we saw PCO completely. I tell you one thing, PCO is just, he really lives up to the moniker. Age is truly a number, because that guy is like 50 something, 60 something. I don't care, but that guy is moving, you know, stronger and younger, just like how Sting is in AEW and Impact. PCO, dang man, you still got it. So Sting. But with that being said, I got a different tangent. Honor No More won, and their stipulation was, if Honor No More does not win, that faction is gone. But if they did win, they get a future Impact Tag Team title match, and that's what happened. Honor No More won. And then remember I told you earlier about the Sammy Callahan and Steve Macklin. They were completely brawling before the match started, and they went to a tag team match next. Well, we got cameras in the back that led to Moose having an interview, and then Moose talking trash against Steve Macklin and also Sammy Callahan. So Callahan heard that, and he started, you know, brawling with Moose, and then Moose retaliated. Macklin did the same thing too. Then out of nowhere, they went to the ring and they started arguing, fighting, and then completely D'Lo Brown, Impact Wrestling legend and WWE legend, wrestling legend in general, completely went out and said, you know what, I need security out here. And then that went crazy, and they started arguing with the referees and security guards and of course D'Lo Brown. Then the Impact Wrestling's EVP, Scott D'Amore, said, you know what, I had enough of this. We're going to have this match a no disqualification match between Sammy Callahan, Steve Macklin. Let's see what happens next. They finally got this match sorted out, and now it's a hardcore match or no DQ match, same thing. And guess what? It was again another hardcore match in this pay-per-view, and it was freaking awesome. Towards the end, Sammy Callahan won. Macklin was busted open, bloody, and he gave his all. He gave his all, man. But we can see why Sammy Callahan is a deathmatch wrestler that he is, and he's famous for that. Let's get 1 through 5 in that match. I give that match a 5 out of 5 one. And I also forgot to say about the anything 5 versus 5 anything goes match between Honor No More and Bullet Club. I also give that a solid 4, because I wanted Bullet Club to win, and I wanted to happen to Honor No More if they got disbanded. But 4 for the faction versus faction, or 4 out of 5 stars for the faction versus faction anything goes match between Honor No More and Bullet Club. With the Steve Macklin and Sammy Callahan match, gets a 5 stars because I saw great hardcore deathmatch style wrestling. Next comes Jordan Grace versus Mia Yim for the Impact Knockouts Championship. That match was just sensational. Women's wrestling is awesome. Impact, AEW, the Indies really care about women's wrestling, and it's just phenomenal. And that's what Impact's all about. Phenomenal pro wrestling. That's what AJ Styles brought, and that's what these women brought. Jordan Grace, ever since she won the title back in Slammiversary, she's been on a rampage, no pun intended, since it's Friday. You know what that means, AEW Rampage. But anyway, different tangent, sorry. But she brought the pain, she brought the rampage against Mia Yim, who completely gave it her all. But at the end, she came up short. Jordynne Grace is your winner, scale 1 through 10. And we also got a little add-on. We saw released WWE's referee Scott Armstrong, who refereed this match. I'm like, wow, he's part of Impact, or he's just doing this for one gig, one night only. We don't know, but hopefully we get to see him in more Impact tapings, more Impact events like this. So I'm happy to see Scott Armstrong again in the wrestling world. Good job, Scott, for refereeing this match. But Jordynne Grace versus Mia Yim, a solid 5 out of 5 stars, because Jordynne Grace, Mia Yim put on a classic pro wrestling clinic for women's wrestling. And then finally, and I mean finally, we go to our Impact World Heavyweight Championship match between Motor City Machine Gun / Time Splitter tag team partner for Kushida and Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, the king of indie pro wrestling, versus our current Impact World Heavyweight Champion, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. And both of them brought their A game. And I tell you one thing, back and forth match, and I was completely saying, who's going to win this match? I was on the edge of my seat saying, are we going to have the Impact World Champion? Are we going to completely have a retained winner, which is Josh Alexander? And oh my goodness, hold after hold, submission after submission hold, completely high risk spot, every different, dangerous maneuver I saw, finisher stolen, everything from the kitchen sink not being thrown. Of course, it's a one fall to finish, DQ, and count in this match, but one fall to a finish. And I tell you one thing, in the end, it was Josh Alexander winning the match, and wow, he deserves to be world champion. And I tell you one thing, hopefully at Bound for Glory, I really want to see Alexander, face. I don't know. Impact is it's a fun big promotion. I love it every day. I watch it, but hopefully I get to see Josh Alexander as the world champion face, the best of the best at Bound for Glory, October 7th at Bound for Glory Friday. But with that being said, Alexander was your winner, and great match, great pay-per-view, and Alex Shelley gave his best. I can see why he deserves more title shots besides just one title shot like tonight, but he deserves more title shots in the future. Let's go 1 through 10. No, not 1 through 10. 1 through 5. Again, another solid 5 stars on the Impact World Heavyweight Championship between Josh Alexander and Alex Shelley. That match was freaking fun, and I enjoyed it. And again, hats off to both men. Hats off to Josh Alexander. We'll see who your next opponent is on Victory Road, but September 23rd, next month for Impact Plus or Impact Insiders. Wow. So, on a scale of 1 through 10, what would I rate the pay-per-view? Honestly, I would rate the pay-per-view a solid 8.5, because I didn't like how, again, it was a fun match to watch, but my picks were wrong. Honor No More one. And also, the Knockouts Tag Team title loss. I was like, dang it, my picks are wrong. And also, Kushida, Chris Sabin lost. But everything else was a fun ride to watch. So, if you guys have a chance, coming from myself on behalf of Heel and Spiel or J&J, watch Impact's Emergence. Impact Wrestling's great. The Indies are great. Enjoy all pro wrestling, even right now with WWE. I know I've been, I haven't watched WWE product for a while, but, I'll give it a try again since Vince is not in creative anymore. He's retired for good. But, enjoy all wrestling, support all wrestlers from all promotions. It's just fun to be a pro wrestling fan now. So, with that being said, on behalf of Heel Spiel with J&J, Impact Wrestling's Emergence on August the 12th, 2022. It was a fun pay-per-view this Friday night with Rampage, NWA, Friday Night SmackDown, of course, Impact Wrestling's Emergence. What a fun day of 4 promotions giving us great wrestling tonight. So, watch that pay-per-view. I enjoyed it. I'm sure you enjoy it. So, watch it, please. So, with that being said again, I want a different tangent. Have a great night, and please, one last thing I have to say, on channel 156, Boston Open Podcast. Bully Ray, Dave LaGreca, Mickey James, Tommy Dreamer, Mark Henry will support the Boston Open Podcast on channel 156. They are on air from Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 12. Listen to them on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your streaming platform podcasting, wherever you get your podcast on. Listen to them. And listen to all wrestling podcasts because they're all great. Thank you for listening to my pay-per-view reviews on behalf of J&J. On Heel Spiel at J&J, I'm James Jacoby signing out saying, happy wrestling everybody and love wrestling.